Good morning, everyone. It is 7:34 a.m. on January 9th, 2020, and I was going to try to do a quick recording. I have to help a friend this morning, so I'm going to try to keep it short, and I just wanted to show what's happened overnight. So let's start with where we at right now. So we're going to go into account history. So we took a couple of trades yesterday. We had a trade on Euro USD. We had a trade on Pound USD, Swiss franc. We're still sitting with this one, waiting to see what happens over here. We didn't take one on dollar yen, although we talked about it. That would have been a great trade. As we see, it rallied up here, just about 84 pips since yesterday. We did take one on US CAD, and we're still in that. Now, what we talked about yesterday, as you will see if you go back and look at that video, we had a trade entry over here at 130.077. As you could see, the price went up here and came back almost to take us in there, but it didn't. So I was waiting for this structure here was broken, so I had a line over here. Since this was the new structure, was a double top, and I was waiting for a break over that. Once it broke over that with this candle here, and pretty strong as well, I decided I'm going to put an entry at this structure because this structure was now violated and broken. And so I put a limited buy order over here, as you guys can see, and it did come down and pick it up. I was slow the first time, but it did come down and pick it up with this candle here, and you can see that it spiked down here and just almost on the pip picked me up. And we were up this morning 32 pips. We have a bounce this morning, so I'm about to get taken out here. That's okay. So that's what played out yesterday, and what that did, our pound dollar trade worked very well for us. So we entered over here, put an arrow over here, and that was our entry yesterday on this candle. And we came all the way down here, and then it went back up, and I had a stop right around here, and right over here, actually a little bit, like 60 some pips, 69 pips, so right about here. And it went back up and took out the stop, and we banked $6.95. I drew a line here to show this as resistance when price was down here, came back up and broke through this again. And at that time, I decided to take, based on a 5-minute chart, I decided I had a breakthrough this confirmation candle. I decided to take a trade, so I'm in that trade right now. As of here, hindsight, I should have waited for the real kiss, which is here, and taken the trade. I still think this is going to go down. I based that on the dollar index, which I will show here shortly. But anyway, I want to show where we at. So we took in $6.64 here, $6.95, $2.40. We had the loss yesterday at $3.29, but our account, as it stands today, is at $2.49. Actually, the equity with the running profit here is at $2.50. So we have almost restored the account. So we had a week where we haven't made any profit yet, but we learned how to take some losses. We learned that you can come back from it, and we learned that if you manage your risk, you can take losses and it's okay. And not once did I look back at that. Apologize. Not once did I look back at that and said, "Oh my God, this is devastating." It happened, I accepted it, and I moved on. And now we're here. So that's where we at right now. Quickly, I'm going to jump over to the dollar index. This is the dollar index, DXY. I'm using TradingView just to show you guys. 15 minutes, so I'm going to scroll out here. Let's go daily first. So this is dollar index. There's a trend going down here from this perspective. We talked about channels yesterday, so we can do this and whoops, let's anchor this baby in here and right here, and then we do the equilibrium, which is right around here, right? So dollar index trend channel, if you want to call it. Price came up, price went down, came up to equilibrium, went down again, double bottom, broke through, came up to the top, went down, equilibrium, up top, bottom again, and now sitting at the top of the channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video because someone's calling me, so I'm gonna take it. All right, sorry about that. Had to take that phone call. All right, so as I was telling you guys, this is the dollar index. So it's a good thing to look at, because when you look at all the pairs that you trade that has the dollar in it, the direction of the dollar is obviously coming from the dollar index. So we're at the top of the training channel, so it could very well drop down. Now, I've already last night drew this support and resistance lines, and one thing I'm observing here is a potential break of this resistance. So in order to see that, we have to obviously go down. If we go down to 1 hour, we see that we have a break of that resistance, and we actually have a test of that, which is now test of support, which is a typical way of, it breaks through, comes back down, retests that support, and then it takes off bullish, and the next level will be 97.76. That would be congestion over here in this area, but a pullback up to 97.76 is very possible. So if you now go to my FX book and look at the economic calendar, we can, not that the news matters, but again, market movers use it to move the market. So let's go in and see what would potentially fuel the dollar today. The unemployment rate for Europe, EU has been announced. They're on the previous, and the consensus were spot on. We have housing stats that will not influence the dollar that much. Continued jobless claims. Now this one will move it a little bit, and there's reasons to believe that this is going to beat the expectations. Initial jobless claim, 4 weeks. Initial jobless claims. So there are a few things here that could potentially help the market movers move this dollar up. So I'm being bullish on the dollar right now, considering everything that happened with Iran and everything. And on the news this morning, they were saying that U.S. haven't stepped away. They they don't believe Iran has either. They believe Iran has just paused. So any more issues in around that area, and Trump will probably tweet something. So as I'm talking, we're getting another stop loss that hit us, and that's okay, because again, it was another positive one. We took $1.45. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, but overall it's not bad. So now our balance is 251.19, so we're almost back to where we started. All right, so now we watched all that. Let's do this a little bit lower. So this is a line that I drew earlier today on Euro USD, I was going to look to see if it was going to break above. If it was breaking above, I was going to wait for it to break above, come back, and then push away. It hasn't made a new high here, closed above this line, so I haven't broken through, and it's actually just sitting on this line here, which is kind of indicating that the dollar could very well be gaining strength right now. So a short could be appropriate here. We can go down to 5 minutes, see where we see we have a breakthrough, but this candle here, which should have been a confirmation candle, should come down here and then take off on this next candle, and it didn't do that. So we'll just sit tight. Now 5 minutes are very noisy, so and we're not scalping, and I'm not going to show you how to scalp right now. That will be a different session, and I will certainly entertain doing that, but not at the moment. So we're coming back down here, and so again we have double top and we have a stair step down. So double top, the high is lower, so we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and here we had failure of structure. So we have this area to watch. So, but I think we're going to be short here momentarily. We'll just hold off and wait. Same thing here. We had a break, but we didn't have a confirmation candle. So I'm still short here. I'm running a pretty tight stop loss here, just 30 some pips, 35 pips. And I might tighten this up if I get another break above here. There's this resistance line right here, and that hasn't been violated yet. This move down here was pretty strong, so again indicating strength in the dollar. So I think we're just there's some accumulation here, and then we'll have distribution further down, and we tested equilibrium here, so I'm thinking down here is where we go. We get a double bottom, and then we get a probably a run up. So we can put the profit here. This 135 pips seems optimistic, but I think it's a good area if we look left. So that would be the next run up or failure. So all right, so we'll just keep watching that. Dollar yen, we're right up here in a very strong resistance area. We'll probably have a drop down here, and to see where we go, and let's just do a fib on daily. I know my screen has an extreme resolution. I've understood that, so I'm listening. I'm going to try to make it better. So on a daily chart, we would be looking for a retracement. We wouldn't be surprised if we had a retracement down to this area, which is consistent with this area here, and then another long on that. If we look at the weekly, we have previous structure here. We have broken through that structure. We have a retracement, and that's okay. So we essentially have a new high. Now we're going to have a new low and potentially a new high. So we'll wait and see what happens. Trading on a shorter time frame as we are, we can draw a fib sooner. So let's, from the most recent low, which is here. So if we see that the dollar gains strength, and we don't believe there's enough to fuel a move down as far as the one on the daily, then the other spot we're looking for is right here. I'm going to make these yellow because that will stand out. It's a terrible color, but it cuts through most of the things. Alright, so if we see a pullback to here, which is consistent with this support, then we might take a long. But right now we're just gonna wait, wait for a break below this support, and if we break through that, then we'll probably just sit here and wait for push down to 109.15.1. We see that, or within 10 pips of that, we'll go long. But for now, we'll just stay out of that one. And US CAD, we had this structure here. We have a pullback to this structure, and so the pullback is here, and we almost have a revisit of that. So adding all of these things that we're talking about right now, it's just showing additional support for the dollar going stronger. This actually needs to move up a little bit. We had this break here. So we had a visit down to this structure, so it's reasonable to believe that we're going to go up. And how far would we sit? 15 pips on this baby, because we're going to be at the top of the trading channel at that point. And then we have to wonder where we go from there. And what we would do is we would look at if we have a failure or a new high from this structure. And it's so if we go up here and with 15 pips, we tighten up the stop losses, and then we'll look for if we're going to break and make new highs. We're sitting right at that support right here, that resistance I mean. And look left, you have the resistance over here, here. We're right at that level. We go above that, that's reasonable to believe that we're going to go up all the way to here. So let's sit tight and wait and see what happens. In fact, let's take a 5-minute view gander of this. So broke down, no confirmation. So we're looking for a new high on 5 minutes, and we're gonna set that one consistent with this candle. So break above this line here at 30.48.8 with confirmation candle. So we expect a break, come back, kiss it, and then take off. Then we're long. So let's just wait and see what happens. That might happen in the next few minutes. That's it. I'm going to pause for now and come back in a few minutes. I have to take off here around 8:10. It's 7:56 right now, so this will be my shortest recording for today, but I'll be back later today. But these are the things that I'm looking for with him, and we see we're pushing through this line as I'm speaking. So I'll pause for a few minutes to save some time, and I'll be back shortly before I take off. Thank you. And here we are. All right, so I'm back. I'm back on the dollar index, and we talked about the dollar index coming down here. And he broke through this resistance and then became this support. We're seeing a bounce here, so we're going to jump over to our screens, and here's the bounce. So we're going to end the trade here on US CAD. Be long on that baby. Yen. We have so much going on here with. I'm going to wait for yen to come back a little bit more. I'm waiting for a 50 line here, because the 50 line would be consistent with this support. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to clean up this chart a little bit because it's difficult to see. So I'm going to take off the fibs. And in next week, you'd be surprised when you see a retracement back to this yellow screen. It probably will happen, but not this week. So I'm waiting for this line to be kissed. Actually, it should be up in here. So it's essentially been, it essentially has been kissed already. So, but I'm gonna err on the cautious side here, so I'm gonna wait for this one. Over here, so we came down to this line and we already have a buy here, so we'll let that one sit. Pound dollar, we're sitting here. We're already in this trade, so I think we have confirmation that trade should be good. And the Euro USD broke through, didn't get up to here, so we're here. I'm gonna go short on this baby too. Stop loss, not at 12 pips, that ain't enough. I'm putting right up in here. I'll put above there. So I'm at 25 pips, 258, that's 1%. And this one we're sitting on $3. This one we're in already. $3 with $9 there. 250, 6, 8. And then this baby might turn, so we'll see. There's a resistance right in here. So we have a break through it. We'll see what that candle does. Maybe we'll go long on that one too. More long on this. So we're going to set our stop loss right below here. That's 16 pips. That's not enough. We'll set it here. That's 240. So that's it. I might enter this one in here. Dollar yen. I don't think so, just because the move has been quite big. We're talking about 140 pips. In the last day, yesterday, we had a move that was equivalent to 158 pips, and it's right up in here. Strong resistance. I do believe we're going to have a pullback probably to this level, 108.48.5, before we continue up. As you look left, you see that this is consolidation. This is the buying climax. So most likely this one will go up. This candle is just such a strong candle, and look at the volume. It's without a doubt this baby's gonna go up, but when it's gonna go up is the question. So but that's a potential trade that I will take here as well and add to the open trades. But we're $251 right now, and running a DD of positive 11 cents. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll be back later.